everybody. This is Jenna.
And I'm Noelle.
And this is More Than Murder, where we delve into everything eerie with a side of true crime.
More Than Murder is not your typical true crime podcast. Join us on a weekly tour through the haunted, the bloody, the creepy, and the nutty on our Freaky Fridays.
Hello.
Hello.
Happy Valentine's Day, my love.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day, my pea.
Oh, it is a happy day. It is a day of love.
Amore.
And we're going to talk about murder.
Yeah, my bloody belladonna.
It's perfect, right?
Yep.
All right. So we have a special two-parter for your enjoyment today.
A 2-in-1.
Yay. We know you love those so much.
We do.
So... I know, right?
They're easier to write. They're easier to record.
And, yeah, you get both the ear candy.
Yeah.
So, let's buckle up. Grab the Russell Stover.
Hold
maybe
on to
some
your butts.
wine.
Russell Stover.
And here we go. Here we go.
Okay.
All right. So, today, my case, story, whatever you want to call it, I'm talking about a bloody massacre that took place on Valentine's Day of 1929.
Ooh.
Yes.
Going back.
Going back.
Okay.
And of course, I got a little history in here for you.
Sure.
So before we get into it, I do want to talk about the U.S. during that time, the 1920s, the roaring, soaring 20s.
Woo! Flap dresses.
And it's so funny that was that period because that period was also Prohibition.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, in 1920, the 18th Amendment of the United States Constitution was passed, and it brought about the Prohibition era. All right, here we go. This basically barred manufacturing, sales, and distributions of any alcoholic beverages.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody getting tipsy.
Nope.
But us Americans.
Nobody in the club getting tipsy.
Nobody. Is there like a weird squeak in that song?
Well, no, it goes buddy in the club, but that's why you were gonna say
No, there's like a part in that song where it's like a skit or like there's like a in that song, I think.
I haven't listened to it in forever.
Me
it was by
neither.
Jaquan, and that was my shit for a while, but I don't remember now.
We're gonna have to listen to it.
Yep. Anyway.
So, yeah, nobody in the club was getting tipsy. It lasted for 13 years until finally repealed by the 21st Amendment, which passed in 1933. So 13 whole years of no booze.
Drunk, I was going to say drunk driving accidents, but it was also the 1920s, so.
And
drunk carriage accidents.
The Model T,
just
maybe?
Kidding. Yeah, I know.
Little Model T accident, fender bender. I literally have like an old Ford model that sits on my TV stand.
I literally know what I'm going to watch when I go home later, and it's definitely Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, that's perfect.
Toast in the mood.
Toast in the mood. After all this murder and delight.
Yep.
But if you know anything about the 20s, it was quite the party.
Yeah.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Mm-hmm.
So with Prohibition came a lot of illegal activity.
The black market.
Yeah. Bootleggers were those who manufactured and distributed illegal liquor, most likely moonshine or bathtub gin, as it was called at the time.
At least it's not prison wine.
Prison wine in your toilet.
You could call them booze-leggers. Instead of bootleggers, booze-leggers.
I think that it was probably similar with what they had to make it with and how it probably was not very tasty. Probably got you fucked up, though. You were probably getting real fucked up on that bathtub gin. Yummy. Oh, God. And that was probably before showers, maybe?
Something I gotta learn to make, apparently.
The whole family is taking tubbies. Yeah. And then, bam, making your gin.
Oh, God. So nasty.
So nasty. So these bootleggers would supply underground bars and clubs called speakeasy with the illegal liquor, offering quite a lot of money to anyone daring enough to take part. And speakeasies were basically underground bars that you would go and hang out at, against the law. Must have been a pretty scary time. My anxiety probably would have been over the moon.
I probably would have been one of the ones going there, being excited to go there.
I don't know if I would or not. I feel like I would have been a different person in the 20s. Not as socially induced anxiety as today's world has curated. Yeah. So, a lot of the bootleggers at the time were even transporting the booze across state lines.
Boozleggers. Call them boozleggers.
Boozleggers. There is a reason why they're called bootleggers, but I didn't get into that, guys. I didn't get into it.
I think it's like, oh no, that's Buccaneers. I was going to say pirates or something. Don't they call pirates bootleggers sometimes? I think they do.
Maybe. I'm not sure. So gangs had become prevalent before Prohibition, but organized crime and the mobsters really flourished in the 1920s.
Oh, yeah.
They brought in a lot of money off the production and sale of this illegal booze. Some of the bosses, as they were so kindly known, ran the show. With enough money, they were able to pay off law enforcement and even rival gangs. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people at the time were in on these mobsters, politicians, and police officers. Pay somebody off enough money, I guess you can get away with it in the 20s. Mm-hmm. You know?
What do they say? Who you know and who you blow?
Probably, yes. That's probably from the 20s.
It's cocaine.
Oh, God. Well, who knows what was...
Well, especially with the mob and stuff then. I'm sure people were sniffing cocaine in the 20s.
Well, I mean, Scarface is based off of mob mentality. So yeah. I'm sure. Mm-hmm. So paying these people off usually offered protection during out-of-state runs, but ultimately gang violence did, of course, break out. And if you stepped on anyone's toes or areas, things could definitely get deadly.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm my corner.
Yep. This is my speakeasy. I deliver the booze. Uh-huh. And a lot of them were also like into gambling and prostitution and all of that unsavory stuff as well, because it was also outlawed. You know, why just do the liquor? Let's hit all three.
They still do gambling with poker and, I mean, everything else too.
Yeah. At least it's little more legal. Nowadays, there's certain areas that make it more legal. So that, of course, leads to my segment, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, taking place February 14th, 1929.
Ooh, can't wait to hear.
Yes, it's a bloody mess.
Yeah, it sounds like
it's a bloody mess. There is a picture on there of like a news article. You can see that. Uh-huh. So the massacre actually took place in Chicago. And during this time, gang-on-gang violence was prevalent. Take out the competitors, more money for you, right? Mm-hmm. It's the logic. These gangsters were making serious cash. According to an article on History.com, Al Capone, of course, one of the biggest gangsters of the time, was bringing in $60 million a month from his illegal dealings. And think about that. That's
Holy
1920
moly.
money.
Yeah, dude, a month.
1920 money. But, you know, the stock market is about to crash, like, this year, right? Isn't it 1929? So, good luck to you, buddy.
Well, he'll probably be fine if he's got all that money anyway.
Yeah, that's true. But who knows? Maybe he was like, I want to play the stock market.
Yeah.
Have a retirement fund.
Get that doggy coin.
Yes, exactly. Oh, my God. So violence started escalating and finally came to a head on Valentine's Day in 1929. George Bugs Moran was an English gangster who ran a hefty bootlegging business of his own.
An English gangster?
Irish.
Huh. Okay.
Yep.
I was like, I've never seen a British gangster. I always see them as like Irish or Italian or whatever.
Yeah. And that's so basically where, you know, the rivalries came from, is a lot of like the Italian gangs will kind of stick together a little bit more and then try to take out the other Irish gangs or Chinese mafia. Isn't that a thing? I'm not sure. I didn't go that deep.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a thing back then, but it isn't now.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Edit!
So Moran and his associates ran the operation out of a garage located at 2122 North Clark Street in Chicago. On February 13th, Moran got a call from a seller. He was told he could get a large shipment of this product at a very low price. He's like, fuck yeah, let me in on that. I need more money. He obviously wanted in on that. So they agreed to meet the next morning, make the exchange, and they agreed that the garage was going to be their meeting spot.
Okay.
The associates of Moran who arrived in the morning for this exchange were Peter and Frank Gusenberg. They were brothers. James Clark, Adam Hayer, Al Wainshank, or it could be Wayne's Hank. It's an odd Wainshank. And then Reinhard Schwimmer. Yeah.
Maybe related to David Schwimmer.
I thought about that. I literally thought about that when I was doing my notes. I was like, oh.
How can a Friends fan not think about that?
Maybe. Also inside was a mechanic named John May. He was just like servicing the vehicles. He wasn't really a part, but he probably knew.
He knew that was going on.
Yeah.
He made it look like the front was actually real because he was there working on stuff.
Yep, basically.
Yeah.
John May's dog Highball was also present in the garage, but I want to say right now he was not harmed in the massacre. Okay. Just no dogs were harmed in the making of this episode.
Thankfully.
Yes, hallelujah.
He didn't choose to be part of the mob.
No. It said that he was just found barking and just tied up. Still.
He was probably so scared.
But hey.
He lived.
Yes.
Thank dog.
Yeah. Oh, I had to put that in.
Thank you.
So the men arrived at the garage before 10:30 a.m., all but John May were dressed to the nines in suits and ties. That is just how you dressed, I guess.
When you're in the mob.
Yeah, especially, doing business. It's like you guys gotta look sharp. Apparently, Moran was supposed to arrive as well, but he never ended up coming.
Bugs.
Before that, yes.
Okay.
Yes, his nickname was Bugs.
And we're on the 13th still, you said? Or is it the 14th?
This is the 14th,
okay.
Yes. So this is the next day, the 14th, the day the shipment was supposed to come in. Everyone's waiting for their cut of the cheese, probably. Yeah. So they're waiting. Moran is supposed to be there, but before that could happen, a car pulled up and two men dressed in police uniforms entered the garage.
Oh, shit.
Things are changing, guys. And apparently police raids were common. So when the men were like lined up against the wall, they were just like, all right, we're going to cooperate. Do what you got to do. Now enter stage left. Two more characters. These two men were dressed in suits, ties, long overcoats, and hats.
That's the Italian mob.
These men had two Thompson machine guns, also called Tommies. If you look at the picture document, you will see a Tommy from that time.
That's outrageous.
Those guns had power, man.
That's
power.
Outrageous.
Oh, yeah. So that's kind of when they realized shit was going down.
Yeah, this ain't right.
Yep. So all 7 of the men were brutally shot while lined up against the wall in a spray of just machine gun fire.
Oh my gosh.
And there is a picture.
I wonder if all that discoloration on the brick, that's all blood, I bet.
Yeah, just pools of blood, man.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're just in these beautiful, nice suits and then just bam, just lined up and taken down.
They're dressed for their funerals now.
They definitely are. Yeah. Man. So after the incident, witnesses that were questioned stated they believe it was a police raid as well because they saw the police exiting. The police officers, I use that in quotes because we don't know if it was or not, had the other 2 men who had been dressed up kind of in the hands up position, leading them back to the car to make it look like it was an arrest.
Well, I suspect that those police officers were a couple that the Italian mob had paid off already. That's what my assumption would be.
And we will definitely take assumptions because we'll get into the craziness of the case, all the players that kind of came to light.
Okay.
Because it's the mob. There's so many different
So Bugs
things.
did not get shot, though.
Well,
because he wasn't there.
We'll get into it. Yeah.
Okay.
So Bugs right now is safe.
Bugsy Moran.
He is safe. Yep.
Okay.
So
I wonder if he knew.
We'll get into it.
That's odd that he just didn't show up.
There is a theory surrounding him.
Okay, Bugsy.
And you know what? I wasn't calling him Bugs because I I know a lot about Bugsy Siegel, who was like another mobster.
Yeah.
He was around the time of like the Black Dahlia in like the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
And you should actually look him up because he was shot through his window and it like went through his eyeball, and it's insane. Yeah, I did a lot of backstory on Bugsy Siegel. So that's the Bugs in my head. So I was like, I'm just calling him Moran, but I can call him Bugs if you guys want me to.
It's just a fun nickname. Actually, I think I call all my characters in the following segment by their nickname.
Yeah. I was like, you know what? It is his nickname, but there's Bugsy Siegel, and that's just who I think of.
Well, we have to say Bugs. I said Bugsy, but we'll just have to call him Bugs because there's Bugsy.
Well, it is Bugs too. Yeah, it's Bugs Moran.
I could see the Italian mob coming in and be like, "How you doing, Bugsy?"
Oh, so the witnesses definitely assumed that it was police officers who had entered, maybe a raid gone wrong. These were the survivors that they had taken into custody.
Mm-hmm.
Police, when they entered the scene, noticed the grisly aftermath.
Yeah, how can you not notice?
Pools of blood, the smell of just
iron, and gunshot,
yes,
and everything.
Yes.
And spray of stuff. Ugh.
It was grisly. They found all men were dead except for Frank Gusenberg. He was hanging on by a thread.
Wow.
Yeah. Police, noticing he was alive, pressed him for information on the scene.
How about calling an ambulance?
Well, it's the 1920s.
Oh my God, that's right. They don't have cell phones, but still.
But yes, they kind of withheld a little bit to get the information.
Wow.
Apparently. Yeah. Not great, guys.
Not surprising either.
Frank Gusenberg probably wasn't great though either.
No. But still.
So.
Still deserves a trial.
Frank did not want to talk. He's like, nope. That was probably the mentality, protect your brothers, do what you gotta do, family, whatever. He was transported to the hospital, passes 3 hours later.
Well, maybe he just didn't get medical attention soon enough.
Yeah. Probably. But I just,
I love
he's
how
already dying. Like, I like how he just kind of kept it to himself. He was like, I'm not
he knows he's dying. Yeah. He could go down with his dignity with the mob or whatever.
Exactly.
I love how in the picture of the crime scene, there's like a couple of giant hand saws hanging up on the wall.
What were they doing inside that garage?
I know.
You'd have to wonder.
Like, damn. Like, why do you have just a couple of hand saws there?
Who knows? Oh, God. No, thank you. Torture. Okay, so who did this, you may be thinking?
Who done it?
It's a big who done it.
Yes, it is.
According to the same article on History.com, Moran, Bugs, spoke to reporters and stated, quote, only Capone kills like that, end quote, when asked what he believed happened.
Okay.
And I think that was popular. They had their signature type of torture, or, did this one was burning down shops, this one was killing people. Like, they had their signature kind of things.
Oh, yeah.
As this mob mentality. So, from the start, Al Capone and his gang were highly suspected, of course. Capone was in direct competition with Moran, both working in Chicago. And bootlegging, doing all the illegal stuff.
Speakeasying.
All of it, yep. Many believe that Capone's motives were due to Moran taking over saloons located in his territory. So kind of like an old-fashioned turf war. Mm-hmm. However, when Capone was questioned, he stated that there was no way he could be involved, as he was in Florida when the massacre took place.
Did they corroborate that?
He was... his alibi sticks.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, though, did he hire goons?
Uh-huh.
Did he send somebody to do it? Like, that's the thing that... There's so many different ways that this could have played out.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Huh.
But Al Capone himself, he had an alibi.
It's too bad we couldn't hear from good old... Was it Frank?
Frank Gusenberg,
yeah. It's too bad we couldn't hear from him who those two goons were with the long coats on.
Yep. Who knows?
Because trench coats. He saw him.
So, yeah.
He took that to his grave, too.
Yep.
Damn it.
I mean, I think he said something about cops But that was it. Like, he didn't name who anybody was, and that doesn't help anything.
No.
Because was it the cops? Was it people dressed as the cops? Like...
Well, plus they had 2 people with them that were...
dressed as, like, yeah. And that's what the witnesses were reporting as well. Like, oh, it was the cops who did it. Yeah. So, with Al Capone basically off scot-free, he was never convicted or arrested for this. But when researching, it seems most feel that he is responsible. So when you Google this, when you look up anything, Al Capone's name is attached to it. Just because his notoriety and the way that they were combined. They were both in Chicago. Rivalries. Easy. Pin it on Al Capone.
Okay.
But I did find some other suspects that I do want to touch on quickly.
Okay.
The source they used for this was a great article from ChicagoMag.com, written by Jonathan Eeg. Sorry if I say that wrong.
Okay.
But it was a really great read. Also, if you want to check it out, we will have it posted on our blog. Go check it out.
There will be the link.
Yes, because I'm just hitting on points of it, guys. Read it. It's great. So, the Purple Gang out of Detroit were suspected as well.
Purple Gang.
That's what they were called. I don't make the names.
I have never heard of them in my life.
Me neither. They were the Purple Gang. Oh, yeah. Probably where that came from.
Who was this Purple Gang?
So, there's not much about them. They're just a gang there's nothing of notoriety about this gang, really. And the only motive that they had thinking is because there was a stolen shipment of whiskey. And they thought that it was an attack on them, probably from Bugs. Yeah. And Bam, rivalry. That's basically what the motive is. So I don't think there's any guys in this gang that are very notable. Yeah. That's probably why I haven't heard of the Purple Gang, guys.
I love it. That would be my gang name.
Right?
The Purple Gang.
Keep it easy, guys.
Well, it's like one of my favorite colors.
Maybe it's also like one of the head honcho guy. Maybe his last name was like Purple or something.
That would be the best name ever.
Richard Purple.
Noel Purple.
Yeah. Purple.
Okay. I'm just gonna name my next kid Purple.
Please. Purple. Purple.
Oh, the perp's here.
Okay, guys. So Moran Buggs himself became a suspect early on. They questioned why he was not at the garage when the massacre happened. That is a fair question.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Had he made up the shipment? Was he the mastermind behind all of it just to get these people there? Maybe he was tired of dealing with some unsavory characters in his gang and it was just a way to take people out. It probably happened all the time. But the theory kind of fell through quickly. Why would Moran take out the innocent parties like John May the mechanic? Yeah. John May didn't really work with him. Why would he be like, oh, okay. You know, he probably would have created...
Maybe he wasn't as innocent, though, as we think. He probably, like we said, he probably knows a little bit. He can't leave somebody who knows.
Yeah, but I don't think the cops at the time were like, this guy's in on it. He just seemed like an innocent party at the time. So, who knows? I mean, all of these parties could be responsible parties. But police at the time just didn't see it making sense. So with all the moving parts, this case was very hard to solve. Very hard to solve. There were many different crime syndicates with different affiliations. Some may have been involved with law enforcement. Public figures, maybe? A lot of them were untouchable. There were also thousands of different motives that had to be run through. Could have been something as simple as someone wanted the product or supplies that Moran had and thought that they had in the garage. Maybe that's what it boils down with. Everyone wanted to be in charge and would take out a party standing in their way at this time. Any mob is going to take you out if you're infringing on them.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Especially the more powerful ones, you know.
Especially, yeah.
Yeah, like Al Capone, you know, he was a powerful guy back then. You hear a lot of gangs and you're like, oh, okay. But you hear a couple key names and you're like, damn. He was bad.
Yeah, and that's why, like, that's why a lot of the movies are about the Italian mobs, because those were, like, they made themselves known.
And they were controlling
like,
shit.
Don't fuck with the mob. Yeah.
They were controlling, that's why it's called organized crime. You know, they were organized. They had their people. They had their...
And if one of their people fucked up, they killed him. So
they
didn't fuck around. No,
they knew how to make the money. They knew how to make the money.
You dare come to my daughter's wedding?
On the day of my daughter's wedding. Yeah. Oh, gosh. I knew it.
Ask me for a favor.
I knew it was going to get either Sopranos-y or Godfather-y at some point, guys. I've already said it to Al Capone. Like, you got to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, because of all of these moving parts and different motives, this case has never been resolved.
Actually solved, yeah.
To this day. Day.
What do you think?
I don't know. I feel like subliminally Al Capone is in my head because everyone says it's Al Capone. And yes, he had an alibi, but he totally could have done it. He could have hired 4 guys or made 4 of his own guys, dress up like cops, dress up as themselves, enter in, and bing, bang, boom. You think Al Capone's really handling all the killing himself?
Did Bugs ever say where he was? Like, why he wasn't? Because they asked why he wasn't at the garage. Did he say why?
Oh, God, he did, and I can't remember exactly.
Was he like, I was getting a haircut?
Something happened that he was running late. He was supposed to be there, but he was running late. And it was just kind of that,
were you running late?
Were you?
Or were you running late on purpose?
Seems convenient.
Yeah.
Huh. So.
Interesante.
Yeah.
I'm not sure myself. Capone, like you said, he definitely could have had somebody go do it. I don't know.
Wiley had an alibi, too. He could have been like, I'm meeting with this person down in Florida.
I don't know with his ego if he would let somebody take credit for something that he would want it. I don't know. He would want to do it, but his name is still on it, so I suppose it wouldn't matter.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows?
So, I know. It's like, I'm intrigued. I want to know who did it.
Who did it?
Did Bugs even work with Al Capone? Maybe Bugs was like, you know what? Let's team up.
The Irish and the Italians are like, come on, let's do this.
Yeah. Maybe. And he's like, fuck my crew.
Or maybe it was just some random crew from somewhere else.
Yeah, like you said, a misunderstanding because they thought that.
Or saw them taking in a big shipment the day before and they're like, damn, I want that. We gotta
get in on that.
It could be anything.
Oh my God.
And this is why it's regarded as one of the biggest unsolved crimes in our American history.
Wow, because it was like a massacre and nobody knows what happened.
No one knows. People just walked into this garage one day, gunned down 7 men, and just bam.
That gun is crazy.
A quick little fun fact for history buffs. Before the garage was demolished, many years later, bricks had been removed from the wall where the men were lined up. Those bricks are now on display at the Mob Museum in Las Vegas, Nevada.
There's a fucking mob museum?
There is a mob museum, yeah.
Oh my God.
That's probably where that freaking Tommy gun is.
Cool.
Yeah. And there's like these little bullet holes that you can see like inside the wall. It's fascinating. Yeah. Yep. So who knows? Who do you guys think?
Yes, tell us.
Masterminded the St. Valentine's Day Massacre of 1929?
Send us an email. Tell us who you think committed the massacre.
Was it the Purple Gang? Was it the police?
Purples.
It could have even been the friggin' police.
Yeah, but who were those 2 random guys in trench coats?
Who knows?
Because there wasn't just policemen. There was those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the guys were the ones to pull the trigger.
And I just feel like the cop thing was just the guys. To get in there, to kind of disarm them. Because you got to think about it. This garage was probably armed heavily.
Yeah.
You don't send your guys into somewhere, even just to pick up a shipment, probably without some firepower.
Yeah. And especially, though, like, I feel like if some cops were paid off to do that or whatever, they were like, oh, well, as long as you give me such and such amount of whiskey or whatever.
Yeah, and it could have even just been as simple as, hey, I'll pay you for your uniform.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah, true. Give me your cop outfit.
Outfit. So yeah, guys, that's
was intriguing. I enjoyed that story.
Yeah, we'll put the pictures on the blog. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Who did it?
Pretty cool.
Who done it?
Who done it? You tell us who you think done it.
Yep.
We want to know. We want to hear from you who done it.
All right.
Okay, so my turn.
Yeah, what do we got? What is more blood?
There's a bit of blood. It is not a massacre.
Okay.
It is a murderer who happens to be a woman this time.
Ooh, a female killer.
In fact, she'd be the only woman put to death by the electric chair in the history of Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
And she and her boyfriend there, that I will get into, had kind of a love like Bonnie and Clyde.
Wonderful. So, don't you love it? Let's just go on a rampage and kill a bunch of people for love.
Well, it was actually just one.
Okay.
So it's actually a really interesting... This is just a crazy story of love, I think. It's strange.
All right. I'm ready.
So this woman is Toni Jo Henry.
Okay.
She was born in Louisiana near the city of Shreveport.
Ooh, love me some Shreveport.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what? What's Shreveport? What about it?
True Blood.
Oh,
that's where Fantasia was.
Yeah.
Fantasia was in Shreveport. I love True Blood.
I know.
Eric Northman, please.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
So
we're good now.
She was born in 1916. Her name was originally... I know, I didn't think she was that far back, but it is.
Okay.
Her name was originally Annie Beatrice McQueeston.
That's quite a jump.
Yes. Later in life.
Joe.
Yep. Later in life, she'd also be known as the Tigress. I'm not sure why.
Huh?
Because the story doesn't really go along with anything why they would call her that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So.
Weird nickname.
Her mom passed away from tuberculosis when Toni Jo was only 6 years old, and she was the third of 5 kids. Her father later remarried, and she couldn't stand her home living situation anymore and asked one of her aunts to take her in. I'm not sure if it happened or not. I get the idea that she stayed with her aunt sometimes, but lived mostly at home.
Okay.
But didn't actually live with her aunt. So, at 13... I don't know the laws back in early 1900s on child labor and when you were allowed to start working back then. But Toni Jo started working at 13 in a macaroni factory. I'm not sure why, but when her boss found out that her mom died from TB, he fired her. Even though this was already 7 years after her mom's death.
Some Les Mis type shit.
Yeah, are you fucking kidding me? It was an illness, dude.
And I think during that time, children, wasn't that kind of industrial revolution?
Yeah, so I'm
late. Might have been later, but then we also hit, once again, the Great Depression by 30. So yeah. I think everybody was probably working at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh.
Yep. So when she got home to her dad's house, he found out that she was fired and ended up beating her because of it.
Wonderful.
Okay, are you kidding me? You should be going after the boss.
Yeah.
And being like, why are you firing my 13-year-old daughter for her mom who passed away 7 years ago?
Why does this 13-year-old need to freaking be working?
That's what I know.
Terrible place that's probably still freaking dangerous.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. After her dad beat her up because she got fired, she decided then that she never wanted to come home again. And I cannot blame her.
Fair point.
She already had a shitty home life after her mom passed and he remarried.
Yep.
If he beat her because she got fired from a job, I can only imagine, the other instances that things have happened. So she wanted to go. And so she did. Kind of. Yeah. Well, because shortly after, I believe she was still 13, I think going into 14, she did turn to sex work. Because since she was young, petite, and pretty, it was easy and she made out well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And she was on her own, so that's what she decided to try.
It happens.
Which is totally fine if you're 18 years or older doing well in sex work.
Oh,
but the fact that she was very, very much underage and able to do well means that lots of older men paid her to rape her, pretty much.
Yeah.
And that's fucking disgusting and gross and despicable.
And that even happens, the book I'm reading right now, it talks about these girls that were, 16, 17, that were kind of hanging out with a bad crowd, and were kind of getting into that nightlife as well, and they ended up dead because they were getting picked up by this John.
And this is just a 13-year-old girl who nobody pretty much cares about her anyway.
Yep.
So.
Awful.
Like I said, she was 13 being paid to get raped. It's just awful. Like, she really didn't have a good upbringing. Like most of the people who turn to killing other people, they don't have a great life to start with.
That's very true.
And that's all I'm saying about that.
We should start a list.
I know, because usually in the beginning of all of them, we always feel bad for them when we go through, like, the history.
Yes. Every time it's abuse and it's,
it's really disgusting stuff that these poor people have had to go through, but then they do disgusting stuff in return, and it's like, it's such a conflict of morals, in your head. It's like, good Lord.
You want to have empathy for them, but then you're like, but...
How could you do that in return, knowing...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So being in the life, around 16, she began doing cocaine, drinking alcohol, and smoking the ganj. Mm-hmm. Because that's what often you do when you're in sex work. A lot of the times the Johns even will give you drugs.
And you probably want to numb that pain.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
not a great life to live. Mm-mm. You probably, you have money, but numbing pain.
Yeah, and where was she living in this time? I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah. Like, in cars? I don't know. Well, yeah. So, but let's be clear here as to what the gateway was for Tony Joe's drug habits. It was trauma.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Trauma is the gateway to drugs and hard drugs. Mm-hmm. Marijuana not included.
Yep.
So, marijuana is not the gateway drug. Most times it's trauma, something you have gone through.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, I'm just going to put it out there.
Numbing the pain.
Yeah. I guess while she was still in her teens, she ended up assaulting a man and was arrested for it. But she was not sent to prison or jail because of her age. Now, I pretty much see this picture in my head that it was said that she assaulted a man.
Oh, yeah,
but what was this guy doing to her?
Protecting herself.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then the cops were like, no, you were assaulting him because you're a sex worker and that's illegal. Yep. It doesn't matter that this man is coming to do this to you at 16 years old.
Yep.
So I hated that they even, I had to put that in there, but it does
but
show
how it's written.
Exactly.
Like, oh, okay.
She assaulted a man. How about, why did she assault the man?
Yep.
What was he doing?
Assaulting her.
Exactly. So, by the time Tony was 23, which was in 1939, she worked full-time at the Shreveport brothel. It was there that she met and quickly fell head over heels for her bad boy, Claude Cowboy Henry.
Ugh.
He was about 3 years older than her, I believe. He was born in 1913. And honestly, he doesn't do a whole lot in this to make me feel like he was too terrible of a guy. He did.
Okay.
So, he did. All right. Cowboy happened to be out on bail at the moment because he shot and killed an ex-police officer. However, and so he was waiting his second trial on murder charges. So, he was awaiting his second trial, and the reason why he escaped hanging before is because it was in Texas at the time. Uh-huh. They were both drunk and disorderly at a bar and ended up participating in a brawl, which ended up with the ex-cop being shot. So it wasn't like he went out and committed murder on this ex-cop intentionally.
Yeah.
This happened as a result of a brawl that was already taking place.
Uh-huh.
So this is why he already had, this was already like his second trial on it. Because they must have appealed because technically it wasn't like actual murder. It would be probably manslaughter or something.
Premeditated, first degree, yeah.
Right. And he wasn't a current cop either. He was an ex-cop. So I'm just saying, Claude did do something bad, but I don't think that he's like a cold-blooded killer.
Yeah, he's not an inherently evil person. Yeah. We'll put it that way.
On November 25th, 1939, the two got married and honeymooned in Southern California. Okay. I guess Cowboy, and this is cool too, like, I don't know why, at this time, I guess Cowboy managed to get Tony Joe sober. Because at this point, she was addicted to cocaine now. So she's addicted to cocaine. He literally kept her in the hotel room and got her sober.
So he's a pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't doing
of her life.
Yeah, he didn't want her to do these harmful drugs.
Offering structure and a
chance. He married her no matter what was her life. I mean, he met her in a brothel. He didn't take advantage.
How old was she when they got married again?
23.
Okay, all right.
So
and he was only a few years older. So okay.
And she was 23 when she was working full time at the Shreveport brothel. Yeah. So it was legal and consensual. So, and then he got her sober. And I was like, okay.
Cool. good on you, dude.
Yeah.
Hopefully it stays good on you, dude. I don't know. We'll get there.
Well, he doesn't really have the chance. That's great that you say that because
okay. All right.
Your happiness doesn't last long because, alas, the dude was only out on bail and received a notice that it was time for his second trial.
Okay.
Well, the second trial ended in conviction in 1940 for Cowboy, and he was sent to Huntsville, Texas, to the Texas State Penitentiary on a 50-year sentence.
Ooh, that's not good for your
so
marriage.
He's 26. He's on a 50-year sentence for murder, pretty much.
Not good for the relationship.
Tony was pissed.
Oh, I believe it.
She finally found her happiness. And obviously when she married him, because she's Tony Joe Henry, that's when she changed her name because his name was Claude Cowboy Henry. Yeah. So that's when she changed her name. But yeah, she was pissed. She was like, I finally found this man who loves me. We were going to probably run away together. I mean, they went to California to honeymoon. He was going to take care of me. He got me sober. Fuck this. I'm going to get this guy out. So that's what she promised to do. She promised to get Cowboy out of jail. Come hell or high, murder.
All right, here we go.
This is when bitch gets great.
Okay, all right.
But this is what I said. It's all about love, okay? So this whole time, her main goal is breaking Claude out of prison.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
There are so many stories like that, too.
I know. That's why I say it's kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde situation. Yeah. What would you do? I don't know.
Rob the bank for this person's whatever.
Well, this is coming. This is a part of the plan.
All right.
So apparently Tony Joe knows some real shady, skeevy, underground types. Yeah. Because of the position she worked in. So she decided to contact someone named Harold Burks, known around town as Arky. Read in other articles Arkansas that they called him, but I'm pretty sure it was Arky. That's what his nickname was. Now, Arky was AWOL from the Army.
Okay.
And already served a sentence in the same Huntsville prison as Cowboy. This made Arky the ideal accomplice, and he was sure he could do it, knowing the internal layout of the prison.
Yep. Yeah, you gotta know someone who knows the inside. Mm-hmm. Oh boy, here we go.
So next, they devise a plan, and I feel a little bit bad for Arky. I do.
Okay.
But you'll see why.
All right.
So they devise a plan. Their only plan was to 1, steal a car, 2, rob a bank, and 3. Make sure they're armed, because just in case, because they got to go break him out of prison or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
4, break him out of prison. Okay?
You know what it reminds me of real quick? You know, in Smiley Face, when she's devising her plan, and she's writing her revised plan in the back of the truck, and it's just scribbles. And she's in her head like, this is the best plan.
Yes.
And everything just goes to shit. All right, that's all, guys. If you haven't seen Smiley Face
with Anna Faris, you must watch.
You should watch. It's got John Krasinski looking real gross.
It's hilarious. So, at least we think so.
I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. All right, so back to the list.
So Tony called up a couple more of her shady contacts and asked them to go and rob a gun store for the 2 of them, and they did.
All right.
So Tony and Arky armed themselves with the stolen pistols. Okay, so let me break down our locations here.
Okay.
So Cowboy and Tony met and married in Louisiana, in Shreveport.
Yes.
They honeymooned in Southern California.
Then
he went to prison in Texas.
Yep.
Yes, because that's where his conviction was.
Yep.
Okay, so Tony Joe was already staying somewhere nearby the prison while plotting his breakout.
Makes sense.
I believe.
Yep.
So that's why they were able just to hitch a ride. But they kind of hitch a ride back and forth from Texas to Arkansas. Because apparently that's where Arky suggested to rob this bank. It was like this bank that he had.
You don't want all your crime in one spot.
Yeah, true.
You know, rob the bank over here, break out of the prison over here, break the guns.
Yeah. So that's probably why. Well, it sounds like Arky must like Arkansas too. Maybe Arky's from Arkansas and knows the bank, and that's why he decided to go there. So Arky and Tony Joe posed as newlyweds, thinking it would help them to hitchhike, which it does.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yep.
Less creepy.
And there's, of course, going to be someone who is nicer than they should be. Of course.
Always.
On the night of February 14th, Valentine's Day.
Uh-huh.
in, I believe, 1939 still. They were picked up in Orange, Texas by a man named Joseph P. Calloway because they were going to go from Texas to Arkansas to rob the bank and then go back.
Sorry, Calloway.
Well, Mr. Calloway was driving a new Ford V8 coupe, which he was delivering to a friend. I guess he was a car dealer. And Tony was like, this is the perfect car. I mean, it's fast. It's new.
It's pretty.
We got to get in it so we can get to the bank and get out. So
if you're stealing a car, steal a fucking car.
Right.
Don't get choosy, bitch.
Well, I mean, this guy happened to come upon. She was like, oh, wow, look at this is perfect. So.
Yeah.
But remember, they weren't just looking to hitchhike. They were looking to steal a car so they could get somewhere themselves.
Yep.
And as Calloway was heading towards the direction of his friend's house where he was to deliver the car, Tony Jo pulled out her pistol, held it to his head, and ordered him to leave the main highway and proceed to a country road. Now, keep in mind, Archie just thinks they're robbing a car. He probably thought they were just going to go up to some empty car and break into it and take it.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
That's what I say. I kind of feel bad for Archie here.
He's just trying to do his other crimes.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is, too. And later we'll talk about that.
Leave him to his petty crimes.
Yeah.
That aren't that petty, but yeah.
Yep. At this point, the poor guy, Mr. Calloway, has to be terrified of what this night has become for him.
Yeah.
You know, let no good deed go unpunished, as they say. Once on this quiet country road, she told him to pull over, get out of the car, and strip his clothes off. Cowboy was going to need something to change into, after all.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense. I'm like, oh, creepy.
So she had a deeper plan in her head than Archie. Okay. Standing by, Archie was already gathering the man's clothing, his watch, and apparently $15, which is all Calloway had on him at the time. Tony then told Calloway to get in the trunk of the car. They closed it, and Archie continued driving for a while.
Okay. Ooh.
Because Tony was on the hunt for a good place to get rid of Calloway. So they could continue to rob the bank, then onward to Spring Cowboy. So this poor nice man who was just driving. He was supposed to just deliver the car to your friend. Don't stop. Flip him off as you drive by. Nope, not picking you up.
Yes.
Wish I could rewind time for this guy.
It's Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
nice.
I know.
They're probably just trying to get home.
Such a nice guy.
Don't be too nice, guys.
No, be rude. Be an ass.
A little bit.
Once she found her perfect spot, in quotes, which sounds like it was some sort of farmland because she had Calloway go over to some hay bales and kneel.
Oh no, come on.
Yep, Tony Jo Henry walked over to him and, as calm and cool and collected as a cucumber, placed her pistol, which was a .32 caliber, by the way, to the back of his head and killed him, apparently telling him to say his prayers first.
Oh, sorry, Calloway.
Yep.
Oh, things can change in a blink of a fucking eye.
Calloway died immediately. So, he did not suffer. I mean, she had it right
Point
there.
blank,
He's done.
It reminds me of Bonnie, too, because in, the pictures you see in the movies that you watch on Bonnie and Clyde, she's just very, she's ruthless.
She's just going for her man.
She's having fun, too. It's a thrill to them.
I don't know if this lady is, because she doesn't go on a murdering spree.
It's true. I mean, Bonnie and Clyde were definitely...
the only person she killed.
They were definitely in it for bigger...
She literally was just trying to get her husband.
But still, just leave the man. Just leave the man.
No, I know. I totally...
Kick him out of the car and keep driving GTA style. You don't need to...
I agree with that. Go out and break out your man, go rob your bank, do whatever, but just leave this poor guy alone.
Yep, you didn't have to take a life.
I'd be put a mask on if you didn't want somebody to see you.
Yep.
You know. Yep. But I do kind of like the way that her crime is just centered around... The love of her, wanting to get this man because she had such a terrible life.
50 whole years that she would live without him and would...
Yeah, and she finally just found this, can get out of this life she was in. And it's just taken right away from her.
Yeah, I see it.
Just leave Calloway alone.
Leave Calloway alone.
Rest in peace, Mr. Calloway. I'm so sorry.
That's awful.
The two hopped in the Ford and continued driving until they reached the town in Arkansas where they planned to rob the bank.
Okay.
They checked into a hotel because at this point it was probably
later.
It was too late and they didn't want to be there when the bank was going to open or what. So they were resting. Now again, Archie did not know this was going to happen. Okay? The whole time after Calloway's murder, he was kind of just shaken.
Oh, like, yeah.
What the fuck just happened?
He's
what,
like,
you crazy bitch.
Yep. Don't
kill me, too. What are you going to do to me when we're done here?
This just took a turn.
Okay. He honestly thought they were just going to steal an unmanned car, commit armed robbery, and then spring Cowboy from prison. He had no idea Tony Joe planned to do what just happened.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh.
So while Tony slept in the hotel room, Archie took Calloway's clothes and escaped from Tony in the car she planned on using to break Cowboy out of prison. He's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. He's like, this is crazy. She just killed somebody. I'm going.
That'd be me.
I don't blame him.
That'd be me.
No,
I'd be jumping. I'd be like, I don't have anywhere to go. I will run through the woods. I will be on the side of the road.
I do not blame this guy, okay?
Bye.
He's like, see you later, you crazy bitch. You can do this by yourself.
Yeah.
I guess later on in the investigation, it's found out that he only wanted to go along because he was broke and it was easier to find rides when you're with a pretty girl. That's literally, he just wanted to help her rob this bank so that he could get money.
Oh, yeah. And went
with her because she could hitch a ride.
What else? What else are you going to do?
I know. Don't get a job.
No. Rob the bank, guys.
Yes.
Easy money. Easy.
So easy.
So easy.
So Tony woke up the next day, found herself deserted and without the clothes or the car she was going to use in her special breakout operation.
Covert ops over here.
Yeah. So she takes whatever is left of the money that they stole from Calloway, bought a bus ticket back to Shreveport, Louisiana, and went to stay with her aunt.
She just gave up?
Just gave up for now.
For now, okay.
Yeah, I don't know of anything else because she gets in trouble, but maybe she was planning on trying to make another go of it at some point.
Okay. Well, probably. Those aren't, you gotta make those plans.
Mm-hmm. She can't she has no car and nothing now, so she had to figure out something else.
Okay.
She never made it to robbing a bank, never even made it to the prison to fulfill her promise to escape to Cowboy.
But you killed a man.
But she killed a man, so that was just all in vain.
Yep.
One of her brothers happened to be a policeman, and her aunt knew she was in trouble, but didn't want to tell her bro. Instead, Auntie decides to go to one of his colleagues and tells him, Sergeant Dave Walker.
Okay.
So she goes to the police.
Oh, God.
Sergeant Walker was like, well, if she's at your house right now, how about we both go back and I just ask Tony a few questions.
It's going to go great.
And Auntie was like, okay, yeah, let's do that. So they did.
So they did.
Fast forward to his questioning her, and everything literally comes out. He already knew that Mr. Calloway had been reported missing, but he knew nothing else. Nobody knew that Mr. Calloway was dead. Nobody had found his body.
Tied to anything, yeah.
Right, I'm not sure how many days after this is. It made me think maybe 2 days after Calloway was shot.
Well, she probably came home and was acting real
Yeah, so it could have been a week.
Weird. Yeah.
We don't know. I mean, it doesn't say. So, Tony comes out with a full-blown confession, even giving Sergeant Walker the pistol that she used to kill Calloway with.
Damn.
There were 5 live rounds in the barrel and 1 that had been fired.
If she's in Texas, is she going to get sent to Texas? Did this happen in Texas? No, it happened in Arkansas. Just thinking about jurisdictions.
I know.
Because I can see this crazy girl being like, well, send me to the same jail as my baby.
Yeah, I know.
Like, if I'm not going to be with him, I might as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
So for some reason, Sergeant was like, well, I haven't heard anything about a murder yet, but I'll arrest you, hand you over to Lake Charles Police, because I guess this is where the crime took place, was in Lake Charles.
Yep, jurisdiction.
And once she was handed over, she went with the Lake Charles Police to show them where the body was.
Oh.
Then there he was, just the way she left him. Calloway's car had been found not too far away in Arkansas, complete with his clothes and old cigarette butts with Tony's lipstick stains on them. Archie was also found and arrested for murder shortly after, and the two were tried separately, which kind of upsets me because Tony confessed. She said it was her, and he was literally an accomplice, and they didn't. So yeah.
Yeah, he's an accomplice, but he didn't want that.
He had no idea. That's
because if I don't know. Because if they hadn't killed the guy, they probably would have robbed the bank. They probably would have tried to, I don't know.
Which let him get in trouble for those things. But, like, I don't know.
I know. It's hard. It's so tough. Yeah.
In Lake Charles... Oh, wait. Sorry. We're moving on to the trial now.
Okay.
And then her execution. During Toni's trial, while she was in her cell, she had a vanity and books, amongst other furnishings that most other prisoners don't have.
Jeez.
I guess some rich old lady, like, donated stuff to her for some reason. Don't know.
Interesting.
In Lake Charles, on March 27th, 1940, her trial began, and on the 29th, just 2 days later, it concluded with a guilty verdict and a death by hanging sentence, because at the time of 1940, that was the death penalty was hanging.
The execution style.
And though Toni admitted to killing Calloway, and she even had the gun to prove it, Archie was also found guilty later that year and sentenced to death as well.
No.
Yep.
Archie.
They actually put him to death. And he didn't even have, like, yeah. I mean, he didn't come forward, but he still didn't pull the trigger. I feel like that makes a difference.
It does make a difference.
And he didn't want it to happen. Like, he didn't know.
That's why he fled. He was like, oh, shit, I'm not doing this anymore. Bye, crazy.
Like, that wasn't even part of the plan. He had no idea that was going to even happen.
If we think, like, okay, say they didn't murder the guy, but they did the breakout, they did the thing, they did that. They would have gotten jail time if they got caught for that, obviously. But they're not going to lose their lives over that.
No. So, like, I understand that he was there when it happened and didn't come forward and stuff, but they also have to look, this bitch just killed this dude. What is they expect him to do? Just run right away from her then and be like, I'm calling the cops?
No, he realized, wow, this crazy bitch is going to do anything for love. And she'll shoot my ass.
And I'm not coming forward because if she finds out that obviously it was me that said something.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, I do feel bad for Archie. I do.
No, it's hard. It's hard.
He just wanted to rob a damn bank for easy money.
Yeah.
And fucking Toni Jo gets him killed too. So really, she killed two people.
Yeah.
Calloway and Archie. Because her actions sent him to death.
Yep.
So she appealed time and time again, continually receiving death sentences. Until finally in 1942, when they finally decided no ruling was going to be overturned.
Yeah.
Stop wasting our fucking time and money.
For real. What new can you bring to this case at that point?
I know.
Stupid. Stop.
But I almost wonder, because at this point, Louisiana had changed its death penalty to the electric chair. And I wonder if they were just like, let's see this bitch fry.
Yeah.
You know?
They had to test it out somehow.
I know. So she was done appealing, and her final sentence was death by electrocution. Yep.
That's gotta suck. Oh, God.
Listen to this. True love. Okay, true love. During all of this, so somehow, because I guess she was able to make a phone call at one point, and the phone call, so what happened was that her husband, hope you haven't forgotten about Cowboy now.
No, okay. Can't forget Cowboy.
He and an accomplice managed to break out of prison anyway.
You fucking kidding.
Okay?
You fucking kidding. And he probably doesn't know.
Oh, he does, because he
does,
broke out in an attempt to go and break Toni Jo out of prison now.
It's a lot of prison breaking over here.
So they're all just, I'm going to break you out. No, I'm going to break you out. No, I'm going to break you out. No, stop it. I'm going to break you out.
And I'm not really going to break you out, because I'm going to kill a man, and then I'm going to run.
And I'm going to be in prison.
Yeah.
And sent to death.
Oh my gosh, she should have just not done it. Lived her life.
He would have broken out.
Out anyway.
I would have just been like, I'll be waiting. You just figure out a way to break out. Tell me when you're done. And I will get you out of the country.
Yeah. I'll get a job. I'll make sure, we're good to go.
Exactly. She should have just done that. Come on, Toni Jo.
Visit you. Because then
you had a shitty start of life. You're going to have this life with this guy. If he had good behavior, he possibly could have gotten out earlier. Like, jeez.
I feel like it's safe to say, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to rob a bank for anybody.
So, those two, the two men, Cowboy and his accomplice, were caught pretty quickly and brought back to the Texas State Pen. Texas State Pen.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Texas.
Friday the 27th, her last wish was to be able to call Cowboy and speak with him one last time before her death, and they did allow it.
Aww.
Which, it's just like, she just loved this guy.
So hard. Like, I know you loved him a lot. How long were they even together?
Not long, not even. They were like months. But she knew. Sometimes you just know, I guess.
I know, sometimes you know, but then again, you don't really know a person 100% all
He got
the time.
her sober. He took her away from sex work. He got her sober off cocaine.
I know.
If he was a bad guy, he would be giving her more cocaine.
Yeah.
You know? So
he's a bad guy. I don't know.
I mean, to her, who had such a horrible life, this is one person, probably the only person in her whole life who treated her well.
Yeah.
And actually cared enough to not have her do drugs.
Well, you screwed the pooch there, lady. You screwed it.
This would have been such a great love story, Tony.
The modern day Romeo and Juliet.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Yes.
All right.
Good God.
So, to quote my source, which is an article on assault called Capital Punishment UK, and this was a segment on electrocution, I think.
Okay.
And then they just brought Tony Joe's story into it because that was actually historical that she was the only woman in history of Louisiana to be killed by electric chair. And she's not old right now. I think she's like 26.
Yeah, I mean, she was young anyway. I mean, it moved pretty quick.
Yeah.
Moved pretty quick.
She says to Cowboy, I know it has to come, her execution, and I'm ready for it. And get rid of that prison suit, go out the front door, go straight, and try to make something of your life, she told him. He was crying and emotional throughout the call, and yet she was bright and cheerful, unafraid of her death.
Wow, this case is crazy.
It's strange.
Because it's like, what do you feel?
Exactly.
Because even before you were reading that, I'm like, is this going to make me cry right now? Like, I cry and everything.
I know.
But I'm like, is this honestly going to make me cry? It didn't. But how do you feel? Like, how do you feel about this case?
I feel conflicted.
Me too. First of all, she shouldn't have killed the man.
Exactly.
She shouldn't have killed the man.
If she did not kill a man and all that they did was rob a bank and all that, I would feel totally forgiving towards this woman.
A little bit, yeah.
You know, who cares? I don't care. It's money. Fuck the patriarchy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
like
100%. Yeah.
Fuck capitalism.
Yeah. And it's not like he was some serial murderer that was going away for life.
That's the thing, too. I know he also killed somebody.
His offense wasn't...
It was a drunken brawl.
Yeah.
And the ex-cop shouldn't have been participating in that brawl either.
Quite honestly, those happen.
They happen a lot.
Fuel people with booze.
And he was in Texas, where everybody carries guns. People can lose control when they get drunk and angry. That's just the bottom line. And that's what happened. Yeah. They got in a fight, they were drunk, and somebody had access to a weapon. And that was used.
But even, was a weapon used?
I think he said that he was shot.
Okay. Because I was going to say, because even like you're beating the shit out of somebody.
It did not say it was his gun, though. It said he ended up being shot by Cowboy. Yeah. But did Cowboy get the gun from the ex-cop during the scuffle? Because he's an ex-cop. Does he have a gun? Nobody really knows much about this. I even looked up Claude on Wikipedia, and there was like not a whole lot. It actually just brought up Tony Joe Henry.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because that's what mostly he's associated with. So I don't...
It's so hard.
His murder part was kind of more of a... something that does happen.
Yeah.
You know, and
that's why, like, it's like a manslaughter type of thing. It's... You took a life...
And I am not excusing that whatsoever.
But you didn't...
But it's not like he's a lot like the people that we talk about most of the time.
Yeah,
that's what we're comparing it to.
It's premeditated. Yeah, it's something that they want to do.
A lot of times it's torturous and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And it doesn't end. But this person, it seems like they didn't actually mean for this to happen. And they weren't probably going to do it again. And
no, we're not saying that he's great, but we're just saying that this is a hard case to analyze and get your head around.
Especially when you're just an empathetic person.
Yeah.
And you try to be forgiving of people and...
Because there's that love.
Yeah, you know, like...
And you want it to work out because, you know, she had that hard upbringing and it seemed like a beacon.
And it was even in Texas that they had let him go off the first trial and allowed him to appeal and get a second trial because they too agreed that... This isn't something that was completely intentional that happened. And that's why they didn't put him to death like they were going to put Tony Joe to death. Because she purposely went up to him, put the gun up to his head, and killed him. Stripped him naked, put him on his knees.
I just don't understand it because I feel like if my husband were to be sent to prison, my first thing is not going to be like, how am I breaking him out?
Well, you're not Tony Joe Henry growing up with all that shit going on.
No, but I've grown up with some shit going on.
No, I know, but...
So, I just...
not quite sex work at 13 and...
No.
Cocaine at 13, you know.
No.
She had it pretty rough.
Yeah. I just...
Thankfully, thank God you had it much better than that.
But even the fact that if I was... to that point, I guess I don't know.
I can't
feel like
say.
I would just be like, I'm not gonna break anybody out right now.
Right now.
Right now.
I can't honestly say because if it was the point where this person's beaten down and used and abused and she just recovered from drugs because of this person and all this stuff, I can't say.
Yeah,
I can't say how my mental health would be where I would be like, I might actually go manic and be like, yeah, I'm breaking you out of jail. Like, fuck this.
It's true.
Like, I don't know. You do a lot of crazy things for true love.
I've been in a manic episode before.
Yeah, so, I think, some of us have been there and we can't really we can't say what we would do at that time. So.
No, especially with the whole getting sober and really just being the only light in her life. I get it.
Yeah, and I think that Tony Joe...
I just don't have the balls. I don't have the balls to break anybody out. I don't have the balls to do those drugs either, I guess. So that's my problem.
That's not a problem.
No, that's not a problem. You're
that's
right.
the opposite of a problem, I believe.
No balls, guys.
But, that's why, Tony Joe... had this full confession. Mm-hmm. She held nothing back. She knew what she had done.
And it showed on her. Her aunt was even picking up her vibes and being like, something is not right now.
And then she even, went quietly to her death. We'll get into that now. She wasn't sad. The only thing she cried at, which is right here, I'll tell you.
Oh, okay. Am I going to cry?
No, it was when the hairdresser came to shave her head in preparation for electrocution.
For the sponge.
And she cried.
Yeah.
Because that's hard. For her, I guess. And instead of being shaved bald, she was allowed an army-type cut to keep some of her hair. Okay. So they were very kind of empathetic to Tony Joe while she was in prison.
I mean, yeah, she had the nice digs.
She was only 26 years old.
Yeah.
And, this was a love-fueled thing that happened because of the life that she had before. And that's what, like I said, that's what I keep saying, that led her so much to be so blinded to just do it.
And there's still so much you don't know about life.
Yeah.
Especially at 23, 24, when she did the crime, committed it. You don't know a lot about things still.
No, that's very young and immature. I'm 29 now, and thinking back to 23 is not that long ago in years. But there's a shit ton of stuff that has happened, and I have grown in wisdom so much since then.
Your world blinders are just on. You're just not...
Yeah, Facebook memories come up of even when I was 23, and I still see something, I'm like, ooh, I said that?
Delete,
oh, goodness.
I delete that shit.
Thank God I grow. No, I like to see that, because I'm like, you know what? Growth. Petty, immature child.
Mine
wise woman.
The ones I delete are usually from 2010.
Oh, yeah, I know. I didn't even delete memories.
Or
I've said some really cringy shit.
Such cringe.
Some pick-me stuff, some other stuff. It's
truth is. My stats for a truth is.
I never did a truth is, but I liked people's status for a truth is.
I did them a couple times, but I did always,
I know, because I see your truth is come up in my Facebook memories.
I can't. What the fuck, dude?
We should
start that. We should start that trend again. Hey, Noelle, truth is. You're my bestie and I love you. Okay, bye.
Bye. Hi.
Oh, I can't. All right.
Okay. Anyways, on Saturday, November 28th, 1942, she was led downstairs to the chamber and to the chair. She had no last words for everyone to hear, really. She did mumble something to herself, maybe a prayer, I'm guessing. She seemed to be, I think they said she was Catholic, to herself. And I read somewhere that the executioner said, goodbye, Tony Joe, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then shortly after, she was dead by over 2,000 volts of electricity. And it said that, smoke was coming from her head, which I think is probably because they left hair. And that's probably why they shaved the hair.
Yeah, you're probably right, because it's a wet sponge that they put underneath the helmet. Remember, like, Green Mile?
They do.
Shit up.
Yeah,
fuck that shit up. And it's the worst scene ever.
It's the worst. I understand the movie and I appreciate the movie, but it's a tough one for me to watch.
It's a tough one. I have the book sitting on my nightstand and I haven't gone any further because I'm like, can I even...
I've watched it, I think,
can I even
twice.
do this? Like, watching it is a lot. Reading it in Stephen King's descriptive self.
Yeah, and rest his soul, the guy who acts in the movie was one of my favorites, and he is passed on also.
I love him.
And he's just such a sweet man, and I'm like, I want to hug him in that movie. And
it's awful. I know.
I can't do the Green Mile. It breaks my heart so much. So she was buried in Lake Charles Cemetery and had a headstone that was dedicated by, apparently when she was in prison, a father baptized her. Because when she was young, nobody baptized her.
No one cared enough, yeah.
He was also praying for her while the electrocution was happening, and before her death, he was there giving her prayers.
Last rites, yeah.
Yep. And I read somewhere this father always believed she was innocent and that Archie, in fact, was the murderer, but, I mean, she had the gun. She confessed. I mean, she definitely did it.
Yeah.
He just, I don't think, didn't want to believe that this young woman, did that. And he probably was sad that she did, because now this young woman's life is now done.
Over.
And so was Mr. Calloway's because of these actions. Yep. So despite Tony Joe confessing to the murder, Archie was put to death in the same exact chair on March 23rd, 1943. So
that's
several
crazy.
Months after.
It's crazy.
Except no one came to claim Archie's body, and it was buried in an unmarked grave. Makes you even feel worse for Archie, doesn't it?
I do feel worse for Archie.
Yep. Felt bad for Archie to begin with, and now nobody even comes to claim Archie's body because they probably have no idea what's going on.
Or he just has nobody.
Or he just has nobody. I mean, he was broke and wandering around looking
and remember, he was
rob a bank.
One of the deplorable ones that she knew from her
CD Underground.
Yeah, like... Or we can make ourselves feel better and say that he's not a great guy.
He knew about it the whole time.
He knew about it. He was the one who pulled the trigger. Maybe she's right.
Yep, he suggested, go put him on the ground, blah, blah, blah.
But we weren't there, and we'll never know.
We'll never know. Nope. So, there is one last part of this.
Cowboy?
And there is some ghosts.
Oh, okay.
Just very shortly.
All right.
Yeah. I thought, because I didn't know that either until I was doing a little bit more research, and I was like, oh, okay.
Was she killed in Old Sparky? Isn't Old Sparky like the famous
chair,
electric chair down in Texas?
No,
she was in Louisiana. Okay. Mm-hmm. Sorry, guys, lots of...
I know, it jumps back and forth. Here. Louisiana, Arkansas, and Texas. It's like, geez.
Yeah.
So, it seems like where Tony was in a jail was actually maybe a courthouse, because they talk about the courthouse nowadays.
Okay, I think that was probably common. You had like your little jail cells. It wasn't like...
And the electric chair was down there and everything. Mm-hmm. So, it was called Calcasieu.
Okay.
Calcasieu Courthouse. I want to show you this really quick because it is... I'm good at English and this is a tough one for me. Calcasieu, something like that. So, the Calcasieu Courthouse.
Something, yeah.
Anyways, people who work there and who visit say they can hear Tony Joe's screams.
Oh my God.
They say they can feel her lingering about. And they say they smell the burning of her hair.
That's a distinct smell, too. That is distinct.
Yeah, it gave me goosebumps because it's just... just to smell that randomly gives me the fucking creeps, yo. Especially knowing what took place down there. So... there are also reports of electrical malfunctions, like lights flickering and equipment just not working at all. So they think that Tony Joe is still there.
Where else she gonna go?
She had nowhere to go. Where's she gonna go? The brothel?
Who knows?
I wish she could have gone to Cowboy, wherever he was.
Maybe she did.
I don't know what happened to Cowboy. I tried to do a little bit more research on him.
Well, he probably lived a low life. Like, he's escaping out of prison. He's probably laying low.
It looks like he only lived till 1945.
Yeah, he was, like, young.
So that was just, like, 5 years after... 5 years after she was killed. Wait. Accident, suicide, or homicide? He was killed.
He was killed.
Claude was murdered.
Now we're taking this off of the Find a Grave site. Those are actually pretty helpful when you're doing your genealogy.
Yeah, which will be linked in the blog. And it'll say Find a Grave Memorial. And it has the actual death certificate for Claude Cowboy.
Claude Henry.
Yep. And it literally says accident, suicide, or homicide. Homicide. Date of occurrence, July 15th.
The most beautiful.
At 3 a.m.
Hemorrhage from gunshot wound of liver, stomach, and
abdomen.
Bowel. 5 hours.
White Rock. Huh.
So he was shot.
He was shot.
Yeah, oh gosh, okay.
I wonder who killed him. Now I'm super curious.
I know.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, guys, this is crazy.
I can't believe we just stumbled upon another murder at the end of our episode.
Homicide.
Another homicide.
Maybe we can dig and figure out what the heck happened to him.
Oh my gosh.
Cool.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Claude was also murdered. Not long, 5 years after the demise of his beloved.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we rambled on this time for a good amount of time. I hope you guys enjoyed this 2-in-1 Valentine's Day special. I don't think we even planned for it to be this long, but there was so much to converse about.
There really was.
Within the episodes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Or the stories.
We hope you're still here, guys.
And I hope you're not asleep.
Yeah, and have a great Valentine's Day.
Yeah, if you're not asleep, go find us on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the little bell, ding-a-ling-a-ling, so you get notified whenever we have new content.
Yeah.
Please go ahead and, if you haven't already, follow us on Facebook at
More Than Murder.
Follow us on Twitter at
More_Than_Murder.
And Insta at
More Than Murder Pod.
And if you want to tell us what you think about the first case we talked about, who committed the crime of the seven dude massacre on Valentine's Day. Yeah. Let us know what your thoughts are on that.
Who done it?
Let us know what you think about Tony Joe Henry's case. I think that was a great episode.
Yeah.
Great stories.
Heck yeah, man.
Absolutely. So if you want to just let us know those things or say hi, you can email us at the Gmail. At morethanmurderpod@gmail.com.
Do that now.
Do that, and we will thank you for listening to us.
Thank you guys for coming in.
And we will see you live later today.
Yes.
Have a nice Valentine's Day tomorrow. Sunday. That's right.
Sunday.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, because we're even recording this ahead of time. So.
Ahead of time, guys.
Yes. Enjoy. Like we said, thanks for listening, and
we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.